on. All right, Kevin back with you for another issue of the $1 Million Relationships podcast. And today I'm here with Aleksandra Lemanska. Aleksandra, welcome. So awesome to have you on the show today.
Thank you, Kevin. Thank you for having me. And so, way to go for you for reading well my last name. This is not happening all the time.
Oh, okay. Well, there we go. So- well, I'll tell you, I'm really looking forward to this conversation today. And, I want to start by just giving a shout out to the folks over at the Quoted platform. I found out about those guys through a mutual friend probably about a year and a half ago. And I'll tell you, I have met some amazing podcast guests and created some great friendships because of the work that those guys are doing. And I just want to give them a shout out because that's how you and I met, Aleksandra, and without them, we probably would have not even met. And so,
That's true. That's true. And I'm with you on this one because I also met a lot of great people over there. And as you mentioned, sometimes it's just not possible to meet otherwise. So, yeah,
yeah,
shout out
yeah,
to those people
yeah,
for creating the platform like that.
absolutely. Well, I'll just start off with a nice, simple question to start with to get our conversation going here. What do you do, Alexandra, and who do you serve?
You know what? I my story is quite I don't know if unusual is a good word for that, but I'm an engineer, so I'm
Okay.
an analytical person, analytical brain turned psychologist in organizations. But I was a violinist for a very long time. A
Wow.
huge piece of my life was piece of music, and I was a student at the music university, so 14 year into music, playing the violin, being in different orchestras, traveling to Europe, and I was a straight A student and always, the best and good grades and everything. And in Poland, this rule in the art university that you need to be great artist, solo artist, to be an orchestra player.
Okay.
So there are all of the exams connected with being solo player, and I started to fail those exams. I had all A's from different classes, but this one I started to fail. I was so stressed and I had this anxiety, and then my fingers were so tight I couldn't play. And a
Wow.
dean of the university invited me to have a meeting with her. And believe me or not, she said something like that, Alex, maybe you should quit.
Wow.
Maybe this is something that it's not something for you and very educationally, right? From the perspective of, 20 plus more than this day. And I was outraged. I was like, I'm not a quitter. I cannot quit. But then I failed again. And then long story short was that I actually did quit. But I thought it shouldn't be it shouldn't be like that. The roles of the educators should be like supporting people, connecting the dots on why this is happening, not just to get rid of them from the system. And it was something there always in the back of my head to stop that kind of things from happening. So
Yeah.
it started my engineering degree, then my HR career, and fast forward to what I do today. So I run my own business. I support leaders in technology mostly to build environment that people don't hate and don't quit by using my own methods, my tools. But the idea of people not suffering like I did is still with me. So this is the
Yeah.
story.
Wow. Wow. So have you ever looked back at that? Like, I'm just curious because, straight A student,
Yeah.
and all of a sudden now, when it comes to playing violin, you're not straight A student and stuff. How did that like even feel for you going through that process?
The interesting thing was that I was great while playing with others. So I had no stress whatsoever. I was a
Uh-huh.
first violin in different orchestras. So I didn't have a problem to play and to play very well. But
Uh-huh.
when I was alone in front of the five, six, seven professors that were just sitting there in front of me and just waiting for me to make a mistake, that was something that my brain like over 20 years ago wasn't equipped
Yeah.
to deal with.
Yeah.
So I was outraged, it was anger because I knew that I can do it because I did it so many times for so many years. And and also it was some kind of disappointment, because you were prepared for your whole life to be that person, and then the whole identity that you've built over
Yeah.
years was gone.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it was a very hard transformation process. I still remember it into my
Yeah.
bones.
I'm just curious, do you still play violin at all, Alexandra?
A little bit
A little
sometimes.
bit?
I also studied to play the piano, so I have this on my list to come back to it. So I'm looking forward to it as well.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Well, okay, so what inspires you most about the work that you get to do, Alexandra, and the impact that you get to make?
Mm. You know what, Kevin? I think that the most important thing for me is to see how people stop suffering, because I see a lot of suffer in
Okay.
organizations, especially in technology, because all of the changes, the crazy transformations, as we are speaking about transformations, are happening right now. That I see a lot of burnouts,
Yeah.
a lot of frustrations, a lot of suffering, and we spend so much time at work that it is super hard. And when I see how people can get a little or more relief from the suffering, from the frustrations, from everything that is happening all over the place, it's the biggest reward that I can get. So
Yeah.
if I can give you one tool, one piece of framework that give you some answers to why you or why others are behaving in a certain way,
Mhm.
this is amazing. So that's why I'm doing what I'm doing.
Yeah,
Um,
that's awesome. That's awesome. So let's dig deeper into this. What is a result that and you don't have to name names or anything. You can if you want. That's totally your call. But what's a result that you've helped a client get that you're just incredibly proud of?
So I think I'm going to use the name. The name is changed for the confidentiality reasons, of
Okay.
course. But this is a person that I described in the book that's upcoming, actually, that I
Okay.
wrote based on the case studies and all of the people that I worked with over the last 10 plus years. And this is Mike. Mike actually came to me for the mentoring process through his HR team that asked me for help, because Mike was a great, brilliant software engineer, the best of the best, amazing individual contributor, and of course, as 90% of those people, he's been promoted. He's been given the offer to be promoted as a team lead,
Okay.
and he took it. But I think that we both know that a lot of people that has a chance like that are not prepared to whatsoever to cover that kind of a role, because individual contributors, subject matter experts are rewarded, and they have a different job than leaders, different skill set, different toolbox. And as great as he was as a engineer, as a software developer, when he started to be a leader, he struggled
Yeah.
very much with everything that everything that he done so far was not valid anymore. Let's put it that way. And he wanted to quit. And this was the state that he started to have a conversation with me. And he asked me, Alex, I don't want to grow. I don't want to develop my skills. I said, I don't want to be a leader because this is not for me. So I'm here to talk with you about how can I quit this job and come back to my old one, because this is what I want to do. And we've started to unpack what is underneath the surface and why actually he's struggling with his role,
Okay.
by using the communication intelligence. This is the area of my expertise. So the algorithms to understand why you think, behave, and react in a certain way in certain circumstances. There are several tools in the toolkit that you can use. And it appeared that, first of all, the new role is for him, but not
Oh,
in the
wow.
shape that he thought it would be.
Okay.
His boss was a very demanding person, let's put it that way, but also give a lot of autonomy, a lot of freedom to do whatever you want to do. And it seems beautiful, but no contracts, no goals, no straight away things that Mike knew what to do and when and what kind of outcomes he's supposed to deliver with his team. So the boss, she thought that all the freedom that she gave Mike was great, but it was great for her, not for him, because of the personality changes that were between them. So Mike did the work, a lot of different pieces of frameworks, different things that we worked on together, and he didn't quit. Fast forward to today, he didn't quit. He was burned out,
Uh-huh.
but he isn't anymore. And right now he's leading two teams, not one,
He's
without
running.
burnout.
Wow. 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 It's interesting because, you hear stories of, like, say, like the salesman who is just really good at doing what he does.
Yeah.
And then the company ends up promoting him to sales manager, and kind of like you described Mike, it's like, man, I don't want to be a manager of other salespeople. I like being the sales guy. I like having the conversations with the people, and so they don't excel in that role and stuff. But yet here, because of just what you guys discovered together, he was able to excel and not only run one team, but like lead two teams and stuff. And so I'm curious though, because you've been doing this a long time, 10 years. Do a lot of people that find themselves in that position, do you find that, like, they can excel like Mike did there, or do they really need to go back to the other position because that's just what they're inherently good at?
Yeah. And I'm going to answer as an every very good psychologist that it depends on the
Uh-huh.
situation
Uh-huh.
and on the person because it really depends.
Yeah.
Some people can really very much excel, and it's not about their abilities to be great leaders. It's more about being prepared, having tools, having good contracts with their managers, their bosses, their
Uh-huh.
directors,
Uh-huh.
and not assuming that they know or they are able to do something, but more working with them, mentor them, and give them tools and preparation and everything.
Yeah.
But sometimes people are promoted because they see a chance in the promotion, or they have this belief that this is the only way that they can actually grow in a certain organization to be promoted for the leadership position. And it is changing on a generational level because the younger the generation is, I see the correlation, the less the less, I would say, able, but they don't want to live like their parents did, in suffering, in burnout, in working so many hours per week because they want to prove something to somebody. And I see the correlation between the number of people who actually are accepting leadership roles and the generational part. So this is interesting from the trend perspective on the market.
Uh-huh.
But sometimes people are just great, as you mentioned, the salesperson. I'm great in what I do. This is my genius zone. I don't want to be leading because it is completely different
Yeah.
mindset, tool set, and skill set.
Yeah.
And I there are so many different ways of growing in organization, between organizations, in projects, between teams. So the belief that the leadership is the only way for being promoted is a lie. So
Yeah.
it is not doing, it was like long ago, but it's not the issue anymore. So some people are just not the best for the leadership positions, and that's okay. That's perfectly fine
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
we need great subject matter experts who actually going to deliver the work because this is who they
You
are.
bet.
So
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. Do you find that a large percentage of the clients that you end up working with are people who are in this transition into some kind of promotion or something? Is that a recurring theme?
Yeah, this is very much recurring. This is a pattern that I see all the time. And to be completely honest with you, I don't know if it's me or or the moment in history that we're in, but 90% of people that I meet that coming for me for the support or in the mentoring process or in the workshop or after I give the keynote speech and they're just approaching me, 90% of them are burned out, are just miserable in their roles. And sometimes they're founders of startups, founders, co-founders in the startup world. Sometimes they're managers working for many years in huge organizations, global corporates that actually have great brands and very, recognizable in the market. And some, I think a lot of people are dreaming or working for these brands,
Mhm.
but they say, Alex, thank you for what you're doing. I need what you're doing, and this is what I struggle with. I never talked with anybody about it. This is
Yeah.
something that I hear sometimes for the first time talking with
Yeah.
me. I never told anybody because I need to be strong. I need to be self-sufficient. I need
Yeah.
to
Yeah.
deliver results. I hear all the time, come to me with a solution to the problem. So I'm not coming with the problem because this is something that I should deal with and I don't know how. So yeah, this is
Yeah.
this is what
Yeah.
I see all the time,
Wow.
unfortunately.
Wow. Well, okay, so now that we've got some context set and our listeners have an idea of, about, who you are and what you're about and how you help people and stuff, I want to switch gears just a little bit. I want to talk about the relationship side of all this. So, have you ever been introduced, Alexandra, to a person or persons who completely changed the course of your life or your business, so much so that much of what you have today would not be possible if not for this person or persons? And I'm just really excited to hear your story and your experience around this topic of relationships.
Yeah, totally. So before we hit record, you asked me if I have this person on my mind, and I
Yeah.
told you that I have. And right now, when we are talking and I'm thinking about the relationship building and everything that actually shaped myself as a person, as an entrepreneur, as a leader, and a person that's actually a support for others. I hope it's going to last a long time. I've added one more person to
Okay.
what I already have in head. So I have two people that
Okay.
I have different the stories, different pieces of me, but
Yeah.
both equally important. So the first person that I'm thinking of is one of my managers. It was a long time ago when I was starting as a leader.
Okay.
She gave me a chance to become a team lead of a team that I was a part of. So the same story as we are
Uh-huh.
discussing, the same story as Mike's. I was a great subject matter expert, amazing individual contributor, and here we go with an offer on the table. And I took the offer,
Okay.
of course, like most of the people would. And I was this person. I was this person that wasn't prepared to be a leader. I was teaching a lot of social human skills because I was a facilitator, mentor as well. I work in internal HR team, so I had more skills and more knowledge than an average person that
Okay.
actually go into the manager position. But I wasn't very much prepared. I never took a course before myself. Of course, I had a lot of knowledge, but not put in practice. So this
Okay.
was my first role. And I was working with one guy that was my colleague, and all of a sudden he was my direct report. And he spent a lot more time in this organization than I did.
Okay.
And I've started to work with him like more on a partnership than direct report manager relation. And we started to work hand in hand, just deliver the job that we need to deliver. And I've decided to gather some feedback from my manager back then. How I'm doing because this is new for me. I don't know if I should do something better or not.
Mhm.
And she told me something that I never forget. I will never forget. She told me that, Alex, you're a great person, you're a great expert, but you're you took the job 6 months ago, and you're still an expert that you've been back then.
Mhm.
And it was at the end of the conversation, and I was like, what happened, right? Because I don't know if it's a good thing or a bad thing that I'm just an expert that I was 6 months ago and nothing changed, because a lot of things actually changed. And I started to wonder, because I didn't ask the question back then, because I didn't want to look like stupid or something.
Mhm.
So I started to wonder what does actually mean. I had a conversation with this guy that was my direct report slash colleague,
Okay.
and he told me that everything is good. We're working together, all good. So I was like, everything seems fine. And then after another month, we had a feedback session with my manager, and I told her, you know what, you told me this thing, and I'm thinking about it since then, and I don't know if it's a constructive feedback or a positive feedback, or what should I do with that. And she told me that she wanted for me to grow as a leader, not to be even better expert in what I do.
Mhm.
So this was the moment that something in my brain actually switched, and so I've started to grow my leadership skills, go to more trainings, go to the mentoring process outside of the organization.
Okay.
But without that, I don't know if it would be possible, because I did my job. Everything was fine. People were happy. My director was happy, and it wasn't something that was a crisis or it's intervention or something. So the story might sound silly, but it was actually very, very much important part for
Wow.
my brain as a
Yeah.
leader. So
Yeah.
this is the first one.
Wow. Wow. That's really something. So, and it just brought it to your attention that you're like, okay, you know, I'm gonna, because I know with what I do, I am just my goal is to just continually become more and more effective at doing what I do. And so I'm just, heck, I'll be 61 this year. And I really, at 61, I feel like I'm just now really starting to figure stuff out. And
Yeah,
so,
true.
and, but so I would imagine, I mean, now it's just like, it's just a reminder of that, what, we're lifelong learners,
Mm,
and we're always just learning how to become more effective at doing whatever it is that we're doing.
yeah,
And
true, true, true.
well, you mentioned there's somebody else that you wanted to talk about too.
Yes.
So I want to make sure we give you the opportunity to do that.
I was thinking about something different. So I'm going to put the other person here, but it's completely different angle
Okay.
of the story. So something it was like 6 or 7 years ago or something, when I was starting thinking about my own company, becoming an entrepreneur. So
Okay.
it was back then, and in compared to being head of in the organization, because back then I was growing myself up through the ladder, to manager, to head of learning and development and performance management area in different organizations. I was good as a manager. I was good as a leader. I was great as a person who created programs and more strategically taking care of people in organizations.
Okay.
But I've decided to just go and do things on my own. And I've started to think about what kind of skills I don't have in compared to what I need, because there is a gap between being even a super high level manager or head or director in a corporate, and compared to being an entrepreneur. This is a completely different skill set. And I saw that I very much lack skills in marketing and sales, because I never needed it being a part of the
Uh-huh.
organization.
Mhm.
So I've decided to start doing things on my own, start to read, listen to podcasts, was learning from some people online, but it wasn't enough. And my learning preference is to learn one-on-one during the mentoring process.
Okay.
So I found a couple that is running a business connected with supporting people like me, like us, in being better entrepreneurs, solopreneurs, just transitioning from being 9 to 5 people to being entrepreneurs, and just building with them the business from scratch.
Okay.
And we started to, because I was pretty sure about what I want to do, for whom I want to do it, and what kind of skills I can transfer from being inside of the organization.
Mhm.
So I started to build some products, very proud of myself, and just hey, here we go. And this mentor of mine, the person that I'm thinking, told me something that I remember and I repeat it to people who want to build visibility or are entrepreneurs or want to be an entrepreneur. He told me that, Alex, you don't have any brand, any personal brand whatsoever, because people know you from you being an HR person in the organization, but you don't have any personal brand. Any personal brand whatsoever as an entrepreneur, as a person who can support organizations from the outside by being a consultant, a facilitator, a mentor, keynote speaker, you name it. And he said to me, you can be the smartest person on the planet. You can be amazing in what you do. You can have the most beautiful tools, the amazing toolbox, great skill set. But if nobody knows you,
Yeah,
it is pointless.
that's right.
And
That's
it
right.
dawned on me. It was like, oh man. It was very strong, and I needed a break because it dawned on me that this is so much true.
Yeah.
And I was so sure of my skills, of everything that I've done over the
Mhm.
years,
Mhm.
but it wasn't enough anymore because the situation was different, and I
Yeah.
needed to pivot with my mindset, with my skill set, with everything that I do. And I've ended the mentoring process very very soon after like a couple more sessions, but he's with me all the time with a
Yeah.
sentence that's
Yeah. Yeah. You know, what an important point too. You know, we can be absolutely world class at doing what we do. But if the right people don't know about us and that we're even there, you know, it's yeah, having the skills is not any good if nobody
not
knows
enough.
that we have it. You know? And
Yeah,
so
because we're not doing it for ourselves. We are doing it
that's
for
right.
others, right? So this
Yes.
is the most important thing, that people who actually need what we do know about it, or know the
Yeah.
person who knows about it, because it is, of course, all about networking, and the world is very small as we are
Yeah.
think of it. So yeah,
Yeah.
so this is
Yeah. So, what is an example, excuse me, of a situation where you personally, Alexandra, got to make a really substantial impact? And maybe even in the moment, maybe it surprised you a little bit, but you also know that would have never been possible if not for the relationship that you had with either one of these two people you talked about. What's an example of something like that where you were just empowered because of one of these relationships?
Hmm. So I think I'm going to give an example of a situation that when I use the second one, because
Okay.
I think this is something that I can think of, just right off the top of my head. So I remember a situation that I was I don't know if selling myself is a good word to describe it, but I was presenting myself as a speaker to one of the startup communities that are
Okay.
very 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 known. And what I do here in Poland is to support the startup community as well. I'm a president of a foundation here in the city that I live in, connected with a startup. So I build and support building ecosystem for people who want to be entrepreneurs, founders, co-founders in the startup area. So and again, for a better support, to get funds, to get more visibility, to get more options for them to choose from, I need to be a person who is there in front line.
Yeah.
And I was presenting myself as a person who can be a speaker, a part of the panel, or something like that on a very big event. And the task was to actually go there, because it meant more chances for the community, for people who actually need support. They cannot afford to be
Okay.
on that kind of events yet, because they're in the very beginning of their path. So it was my job to go there. But the entry level was the bar was put very high. So what I did was to use the sentence that is in my brain all the time. If nobody knows you, it is pointless, because you cannot help people if nobody knows you.
Yeah.
So I've contacted people that I personally interviewed for my podcast. And there are many people who are connected to the startup world all around the planet.
Okay.
And actually, it was a long shot, because it always is, right? So this is something that I don't want to overuse, because I appreciate guests that they're joining for the show, but I don't want to use them the more the necessary, the needed. But actually, one person that is in Nepal is very much a builder of a community, of the startup environment and the tech environment there in Nepal. Actually introduced me to one of the people that were connected very strongly with the organizers there.
Okay.
So we talked like one time, but the relationship that we built, and the trust that we started to build was so honest, and like not transactional. I would say that it was like we're there for each other, and we can even if we don't know each other very well,
Yeah.
we feel that we can build something together if
Yeah.
needed. And that was the moment. And the situation ended with myself being there,
Yeah.
supporting those people, creating more opportunities.
Yes.
And it was connected with the sentence: if they don't know you, you cannot do anything. But
Yeah.
also with the relationships that we're talking about today. So it
Yeah.
is this is magical for me, that you can even talk with somebody for 30 minutes, for 60 minutes, and then if this is authentic, you can actually come back to it and see what you can do together in the
Yeah.
future, and you never know when
Yeah.
the opportunity will come.
Yeah. That's such a beautiful example, because I have seen this over and over and over in my world over the years and stuff, where what you just said was just real meaningful connection. When that gets made, and there's there's trust in character and competence, and there's an alignment of interests and values, business can come so easily from that. It just comes effortlessly, easily in flow, and it's just finding those right people that are just in alignment for us, and what we can accomplish together is so much bigger than either of us could ever accomplish on our own.
Sure.
And it's just I love hearing stories like that, because I've seen so much of that too and stuff. And
Mm.
and you're right, just meeting the right people where you just make that real meaningful connection and stuff. Man, amazing things can come from that. And
Mm.
it's really beautiful to see that when it happens, for sure. And
Mm.
so, well, for anybody that may be listening to this, Katerina, thinking like, man, Kevin, I really love Katerina. I love who she is and how she shows up, and I've really appreciated some of the stuff that she's shared, and maybe it might be good for me to connect with her. Maybe they're thinking of somebody else they might know that they'd like to connect with you. Any websites, any resources we can share with the
Sure.
podcast?
Of course. Thank you, Kevin. I really appreciate it. If you think you feel that you want to know more, first of all, more knowledge, because this is the key, of course, we
Yeah.
know. The best way to gather more knowledge about secure communication intelligence and part of the things that we've discussed today is my podcast, Lemon Tech Leadership Podcast. It
Okay.
has a tech in the name, but you don't need to be a tech manager to use what is in there. So this is the first place. And if you want to contact me, LinkedIn is the best way. So DM me anytime. I'm answering to all my message is no AI underneath the surface, so I'm there in my emails in person, and website is a good place as well.
Okay.
Lemonskills.com. This is a good place. There's a pulse, leadership pulse up there as well. If you want to have a little pieces of wisdom with links, with books, with podcast episodes, with all of the things that are connected with certain leadership subjects, go and check it out. This is all there.
Perfect. Perfect. Alexandra, is there any last thing that you feel led to share before we call it a wrap?
I think that I would add as a parting words that if you want to be a leader because this world needs great leaders, especially now. So if you care, if you want to change things, if you are persistent enough to make a change, to build environment that people don't hate and don't quit because you see that this is possible, go there. But if you don't want to be that person, if you want to go do your expertise, be in your genius zone, you don't need to be a
Yeah,
leader to be great and amazing person and to grow all the time. As you mentioned, Kevin, lifelong learning is a value. So we can all fulfill that in a very, very different way. And this is
absolutely.
all okay. So go and be the best.
Absolutely. Well, Alexandra, thank you so much for taking the time to have this conversation today. I really appreciate it. And I really appreciate you. And I'm excited to get this out there and share it with folks. So thanks so much.
Thank you, Kevin. I'm grateful to be here.